Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella phenomenon, and we are in Fritz's route and Fritz Varg's route. There's always every single guy has an alternate name, don't they? Yeah. So anyway, hold on. I'm sorry, my ear itches under my headphones, so I had to move it, and my voice was gonna sound weird for a second. So anyway, so we were just helping Rod and Emmeline escape from Fritz Varg. We run toward the palace tunnels, a place I've not visited in many years. I thought they barricaded this. Not quite. Do you think we've lost him? No, not yet. Emmeline turns to me, her eyebrows drawn over her eyes in a look of sympathy. I'm so sorry you got caught up in this. I know that we were all meant to escape together according to Rod, but we're not expecting it to be like this. It was difficult to get a hold of you with Varg hanging around. Thank you for what you did back there. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't helped us. I'm suddenly uncomfortable speaking to her, so I turn to face Rod instead. What does Varg want with you? My best guess is that he wants us dead. That can't be... How else would you explain the way he came after us, Em? But why would he want you dead? Rod's bright eyes seemed fiercer in the darkness of the tunnels. I think it must be what his master wants. After all, dogs only respond to orders. I'm offended, Prince. You. I whirl around, dread rising in my chest as I turn to look at Varg, who's slowly catching up to us. This was meant to be quick. Varg looks at me, his eyes glittering with amusement. But as always, you complicate things, Princess. I cannot hide how much I'm trembling, but I still hold on my arm to protect the siblings. Go. Not without you. Go now. Come on. I turn back to Varg as the two flee. My body tenses as I wait for Varg to move. I will stop him, or at least buy them some more time. But Varg remains still as a statue. He remains rooted to the spot. I've no idea how long we stand there, frozen in place. You never cease to amaze me. So what's going to happen now? Were you going to kill them? He's not answering. Does that mean I'm right? Is this what Sir Alcester ordered you to do? Why else would I be here if not for an order? Why would he want you to kill Rod and Emmeline? And why does he want to kill the king? You overheard quite a bit, huh? Probably a little more than you should have. The tension in the air becomes palpable, and it becomes harder to breathe. Varg's fingers tighten on his cane. He wouldn't hurt me, would he? Varg moves, and for a few moments I'm frozen with terror. Then a word I had forgotten long ago suddenly comes to my lips, unbidden. A word that Fritz once told me before. Aduva? Aduva? Aduva. This time, it's Varg that freezes. He raises his cane, but it never comes down. His eyes are wild, even though he hasn't moved. Suddenly, it looks as if he's restraining himself. I can see the struggle on his contorted expression, and then I realize that he's fighting to stay in control. It worked? I remain still for another moment, my mind racing. When did he tell you that? I don't know. Anyway. Varg drops to his knees, and I see shadows forming beneath him. Tendrils of darkness snake their way up his body, beginning to engulf him. This is what happened last time when he changed back into Fritz. There's still awareness in Varg's eyes, however. His gaze is cold and accusatory. It remains that way even as the shadows creep their way up to his face. I find my feet again and rush past Varg into the depths of the palace. I run, too frightened of what I might find if I look back. Are you all right? If you truly are worried for my safety, you should have told the king how unsafe it is for me to leave the palace. Isn't that a nice job, Sir Fitzgerald? Do you have so little faith in me? What? Don't you trust me to keep you safe, Princess? 3 years ago, when I swore that I would give my life for yours, I meant it. I still do. I would have never let anything harm you. Ever. Aww. Perhaps I need to make another promise to you, Princess, so that I may ease your worries. Remember this carefully, okay? Adiuva. Adiuva. I don't know what it is. What does that mean? It's from an old language that no one speaks anymore. It's what people used to say when they were calling for help. Something to call when I need help? If for any reason I'm not there and you need me, just say that word. Scream it at the top of your lungs if you need to. I promise I'll come running. A knight would never break a promise to his lady. Oh my god. So cute. Trust in me. I have to go. I've been awake for hours, unable to sleep. I stand at my window waiting for anything to happen, but all is still beyond the glass window pane. But all is still beyond the glass window. I have no idea what I ought to do. What's going to happen now? Should I tell someone? Okay, what actually happened? Because, I mean, so we said that and Fritz was fighting and we just ran away and like Fritz hasn't shown back up. We need to tell Fritz who he is and be like, you have to fight. You cannot let him win. You'll disappear forever. I've returned to the palace because my room still feels like the safest place, but why am I here? Why? Okay, but why? Am I here because I feel I need to tell the king what happened? Because I hope that Fritz will return? I don't even know if the king is still here. I haven't seen him at all. My hand instinctively reaches out for my necklace, and I realize that there's an additional piece. I look down, and a small gasp escapes my lips when I notice a new piece of the glass slipper. A new piece of the slipper? But how? What was my good deed? I remember the night I helped Rod and Emmeline escape from Varg. That was a good deed? I thought she said it was been a few hours. I've been awake for hours. Okay, so I guess this is supposed to be like days later? Okay, I don't know. Oh no. Princess? Fritz? I've been looking for Prince Rod and Princess Emmeline. Have you seen them? My eyes are beginning to sting. I'm startled when I realize there are tears burning my eyes. What's wrong? Okay. No, it flickered so fast. I was like, wait. Varg is gaining control, slowly but surely. He no longer has to wait for Fritz's consciousness to descend into sleep. In a few weeks, perhaps even days, Varg may be able to help us during the day. Can I even trust Fritz now? Fritz looks at me with worry clear on his face. He draws closer to me, his hand reaching out for me. I pull back immediately, my breath caught in my throat. Princess? For a moment, I just saw Varg. What's going on? Will he believe me if I'm straightforward? Fucking tell him, girl. Something's been wrong ever since we returned to the palace. Princess, please, Fritz clenches his hands into fists. His face twists with obvious pain. Oh, please, okay. Please, let me help you. We're supposed to doubt him. I doubt you can. My chest begins to ache and my heart feels heavy. You'd never believe me. There's a certainty in Fritz's eyes that was not there before. He looks at me with fierce determination. Try me. I sigh and rub my hand over my eyes. You're cursed, or you are cursed. His silence is all the response I need. I knew this would happen. I knew he still wouldn't believe me. Princess, we've talked about this before, but what exactly are you seeing that makes you so firmly believe that? I eye him warily. Will he really listen to me? You're cursed with an alternate personality. A cruel one. I've known him for months now. Varg, well, you, Fritz, were going to kill Rod and Emmeline last night. He reaches out to rest his hand atop mine on the windowsill. His determination has dwindled into uncertainty. You don't believe me? I believe you, Princess. I can see it in your eyes, Fritz. You doubt me. I do not doubt you, Princess. I'm just confused. How could I not know about the existence of an alternate personality, or about a curse inflicted on me? I pull my hand away from him and cross to the other side of the room so that my bed acts as a barrier between us. Really, how? Your bed's in the corner. Anyway. But Varg knows you. How is it possible that Varg is so aware of you when you don't even know he exists? I begin to pace, my emotions whirling. And how am I to trust you when you won't even trust me? I knew you weren't going to believe me. How could I have been so stupid to think that you would? Princess. He begins to move toward me, but I stop him in his tracks with a single glare. Don't. Silence descends upon my room. When I finally look at Fritz again, the man I see is a stranger. Gone is the Fritz that I once knew, and standing in his place is nothing but a shadow. I thought he'd be different. He showed me so much kindness and pretended to care, and yet... But he didn't pretend to care, Spacey. He didn't. He loves you. He loves you so much. He just can't believe he's evil. Mother was right. Mother was always right. No! Mother was a bitch. She was totally. I feel a dull ache in my chest as I turn on my heels to look away from Fritz. This is what happens when you trust in someone. This is what happens when you begin to believe in others. Oh, this is so cute. I gasp when I feel strong arms wrap around me from behind. I can feel Fritz's warm breath against the back of my neck. It sends shivers tumbling down my spine. Let me go, Fritz. No. I order you to let me go. But Fritz only tightens his grip. While the warm embrace is suffocating, it's also oddly comforting. Sorry, Princess. I cannot be ordered to leave you like this. I swore an oath to you and made a promise to myself that I'd always stand by your side. He's so cute. No matter how much you push me away, I'll always be here for you. From the day I was assigned to you, I saw how much you suffered. That's why I will protect you with everything that I am. I bite my lip as I struggle to keep myself from crying. How can I trust Fritz's words when Varg has done nothing but cause suffering to everyone around me? But it seems like I've also been the one to cause you so much pain. He loosens his arms until I'm no longer within his embrace. I suddenly feel cold and empty, but I don't move toward Fritz again. His voice is very soft when he speaks again. I'm sorry. I do not look up when he leaves. You can't rely on anyone but yourself. You can't trust anyone but yourself. How could I have forgotten that? Ugh. I can't believe this late in the game, literally, chapter 6, that she's still like, you know what I mean? If I had been able to have my way, I would not have left my room at all. After everything that's happened, I don't think I want to know what Sir Mithros's request is. I'm also worried about the so-called wonderful gift he wants to show me. Perhaps he means to kill me along with the king. Surely I should be more alarmed at this epiphany. Yet for some reason, I only feel numb. Oh no! Fritz, my baby, you're gone. I do not acknowledge Varg when he enters the room. Princess? I'd ask what you're thinking about, but it's written all over your face. That, and I happen to have the memories of it, too. Poor Princess. Your knight in shining armor turned out to be less of a hero than you thought. Hmm? Stop it. Hurts, doesn't it? Well, I did tell you. I wonder why you're so surprised. Varg, you... I think you're annoying our princess, Varg. Sir Mithros's presence for once is actually a relief. He bows to me, but I no longer believe the smile on his face. Princess, you have my most sincere thanks for agreeing to meet me at such late notice. What is it that you want to show me, Sir Mithros? Actually, answer me this first, as it has been troubling me for some time. Why do you want to kill the king? I see we have much to talk about. Let us walk and talk, if you don't mind. Sir Mithros looks at Varg. Do not disturb us, Varg. Tch. Varg disappears back into whatever shadow he'd emerged from as Sir Mithros and I make our way back into the hall. It seems my suspicions were correct. You did overhear Alcester and I the other night, didn't you? Princess, I must assure you that I have nothing but your best wishes at heart. It's not that I wish to remove your father from power. That is Sir Alcester's desire. Is this what Jurian spoke of all those months ago? Did she discover Sir Alcester's motives only to be discharged from the Order as a result? Why did you agree to help him? I required Sir Alcester's assistance for certain things. It was a mutually beneficial decision for both of us to work together. But do not worry. I never had any intention of going through with your father's murder. Is that why you were delaying him until after my birthday? Sir Mithros' smile is almost genuine. My princess is wise, just like her mother. I realize that Sir Mithros has led me into the secret tunnels. Where are you taking me now? My princess is also impatient, just like her mother. The impudence of this man. You said Varg answered to you, but he also carries out Sir Alcester's orders. It was Sir Alcester's desire to take over Angeal as cleanly as he could. He sought to accomplish that by killing all those with claim to the throne. Sir Rod and Emmeline. But I was never going to let him kill you. In exchange for ensuring your safety, Sir Alcester required, among other things, a servant. So I provided him with one. Sir Alcester needed someone that could remain close to him, hidden in plain sight, so to speak. He also required that they have the skills of a trained knight. Sir Fitzgerald was capable of guarding you, my princess, but he was not as capable of carrying out Sir Alcester's other orders. But why go to such lengths to curse Fritz? Princess. Sir Mithros focuses his intent gaze on me. Something dangerous and bright shimmers in his eyes. I shrink back. Any threat to your life had to be removed. Besides, I'm under the impression that your loyal knight would be happy to sacrifice part of himself in order to become the perfect guardian. What do you gain from doing all of this? I require something from you. Something only you can provide. It is something I had to wait for, as you need to be 18 in order to give it to me. That sounds so fucking inappropriate. We know what it is, but like, it still sounds inappropriate. I've been preparing this gift for you for a long time, my princess. It is a gift of resurrection. I will bring back the queen. What? Will you help me? Mother is dead. Mother is dead. Only in name? Mother has been dead for years. If she had been alive, I would have known. Your mother sustained great injuries during the Great War. She needed time to heal. Then where has she been? And why would she pretend to be dead? Why would she leave me alone? Your mother is sleeping, and you are the only one that can wake her. Why me? My princess, you are heir to more than just the kingdom of Angeal. Queen Hildir was the bearer of the Crystallum Tenebrarum, one of the two Crystallum of Angeal. Crystallum, yeah. Yeah. What? As her daughter, you're the next bearer. You're destined to be a great witch, just like your mother. Mother, a witch? Impossible! It is the truth. You were so young then, my princess, and the world was so cruel to you. Why do I not remember any of this? The queen sought to protect you and shrouded your memories of the pain you suffered at the hands of humans. Is this why the people of Angeal despise and fear me? But once you turn 18, you'll inherit the full abilities of the Tenebrarum bearer. With that power, we can revive your mother. Is that not what you've been dreaming of since you lost her? I dare not even dream this was possible. For so many years, all I wanted was for Mother to return to me. But now... No, I cannot falter. Mother was the only person I could trust. She's still the only person who loves me. Oh, God. I've made my decision. Tell me what I must do. Are we gonna like literally go bad and the person we end up with is Varg and not Fritz? Because that's holy shit. Sir Mithras smiles and steps aside. Behind him is a large rusty door. Come with me. Oh my god. Mother! She's still as beautiful as the day she became one with the Tenebrarum. Sir Mithras reverently strokes his hand across the tenebrarum, as if caressing Mother's face. I thought it would have been like a smaller crystal like he wears, something, not this giant thing. These last 4 years, I've come to visit her as much as I possibly can, but I cannot wait to see her beauty grace the halls of the palace once more. Sir Mithras turns to me. Place your hands on the tenebrarum. Wait, before I do this, Sir Mithras, you said you have no desire to kill the king. Yes. Swear to me that you'll not allow Sir Alkester's plan to succeed. Swear that you'll protect the lives of the royal family. I do not wholly understand why I'm asking this of Sir Mithras, yet a part of me feels compelled to do so. I may not see them as much of a family, but they've done nothing to deserve death. My princess, swear it. Very well. I swear I shall not allow Sir Alkester to kill any of the royal family. Clock tower chimes. The bell echoes in the chamber, the sound dull and eerie. Sir Mithras' eyes flash as he gestures his hand wildly. Now, princess! Now! The air in the room becomes cold. So cold I actually feel my body becoming like ice. Something is wrong. This does not feel right. I try to move away, but my attempts are thwarted by some kind of magical force. The tenebrarum is pulling me toward it. Sir Mithras! It's too late to turn back now, princess. No! The pull is strong. I'm drawn to it like a magnet. The invisible force renders me a puppet, takes hold of my body, and forces me to raise my hands to the crystallum. Oh, I press my palms against the face of the tenebrarum, my hands framing my mother's face. Her expression is gentle in her unnatural sleep. The tenebrarum is freezing beneath my fingertips at first, but it steadily begins to warm as the clock continues counting down to 12. Guys, this is not good. This is not good. I'm scared. The warmer the tenebrarum grows, the colder my body feels. Feels like it's sapping all of my energy. Like the tenebrarum is feeding off me. The pain starts slowly. It creeps up and out until it's flooding my entire body. She's going to kill her own daughter. I attempt to twist my body away from the tenebrarum surface, but my hands are stuck. I turn to Sir Mithras for help, but there's nothing but crazed glee in his smile. Yes, yes. His eyes are focused on the crystallized form of my mother. I become dimly aware of the tears that are beginning to fall from my eyes. I cannot go on like this. My vision starts to blur until I feel myself falling into endless darkness. Oh no. The end. Mother? Yes, my sweet? What are you doing? I'm planning, dearest one. Mother has to be ready for when she takes over Angeal. But doesn't Father rule Angeal? Oh, sweet. Father will soon be too tired to rule. Mother will rule for him, and when you're grown, you shall follow in my footsteps. I will make Angeal a kingdom to behold, my darling. You will never be hurt, and no one shall deny you anything. The people will bend to your whim, and you will behave as they ought to. There'll be no bad people? No, dearest one. There'll be no bad people in our kingdom. I'll make sure of that. You are the bad people, though. Perspective. Opening my eyes and moving my body is a struggle. I feel sluggish and numb, and there's a suffocating heat in my chest that makes it difficult to breathe. When I finally do rise, my thoughts are tangled and confused. Where am I? She lives. Oh no, Vark took off his mask. I turn my head just in time to see Varg rise from a chair just to the side of my bed. I guess he is the same. He looks like peachier. You know what I mean? Than, or maybe it's just because of the hair. Like Fritz's hair being white makes him look like it looks. He doesn't look as, or it could be the room color. I don't know. I thought for some reason that he was actually lighter, had a lighter tone to his skin than Fritz, but it could just be the. It's probably just the coloring, the hair. Like the dark hair makes his skin look not as dark as when his hair is like super white. You know? Because like now I'm like, oh, maybe not. Like now with his mask off, I don't know. It's weird. I turned my head just in time to see Varg rise from a chair to the side of my bed. He's still pretty, though. I mean, he's not Fritz, but he's still pretty because he looks just like Fritz, except for, you know, he's wearing a fancier outfit and his hair's not white. But has he been sitting there watching me? And he's not wearing his mask. What are you doing here? There's just a lot of noise going on. You've been out for a week, Princess. A week? I think I would know how long you've been playing Sleeping Beauty. After all, I've been here the whole damn. Bard quickly clears his throat before gazing down at me, an exasperated expression on his face. Do you remember what happened? Memories suddenly flood through my mind. They're fragments, but together they create a startling picture. Sir Mithros in a room, 12 chimes of the clock, my 18th birthday, the tenebrarum, and Mother. I sit up immediately, only to succumb to a wave of nausea and dizziness. Much to my surprise, Varg reaches out to steady me, his grip firm but gentle. Slow down, Princess. You're not ready to fight me yet. What time is it? And why does, I don't know. It's weird, because Fritz is so in love with us, and Varg seems like he hates us. I wonder if that's, like, Fritz's inner, like, conflict. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because as Varg said, like, oh, I wouldn't be here if there wasn't a darkness inside him, but it's like, because he's like, he's such a good person and he loves us, but we were so mean to him. So there's probably like this part of him deep down inside that's like, Ice Princess, punch her in the face. I love her and she's so mean to me. Why? Like, maybe if I could be as icy as she is, she'd love me. And now we got this icy asshole. Anyway. Almost dawn. Will he become Fritz again in a few hours? Or have I lost Fritz forever? Would you believe me if I told you Fritz doesn't want to see you? The awareness of my last conversation with Fritz hits me full force. After what happened the last time we spoke, I'm not surprised that Fritz doesn't want to see me. He was too ashamed to face you. I had no idea Fritz would react the way he did to your words. I have most of his stronger memories. Not all of them, but most. I thought he'd have most of mine too, but I guess that's not the case. What memories do you have? That's none of your business. The expression on his face is clouded. For a few moments he is silent, thoughtful. In the beginning, they were mostly of you. What? Varg glances away. I notice the way his fingers drum uneasily on his cane and stare. I've never seen Varg look like this. I carefully slide my way over to the edge of my bed, allowing my feet to dangle to the floor. Fritz cares for you, Princess. Take my word for it, if no one else's. Why is he suddenly telling me all this? Will I ever see him again? Or has he lost to you? Varg flinches back from me, taking a few steps back to put some distance between the two of us. I can't say. I watch Varg closely. I'd never noticed before, but Varg's emotions are very clear if you know what to look for. Press him. You cannot say or you won't say. Princess. The gentleness with which he says my title makes me think of Fritz. However, just as I'm beginning to hear Fritz's voice through him, his demeanor changes once again. The vulnerable man disappears and is replaced by the usual facade. Varg straightens and glares at me. He displays his confidence to hide his true emotions. It seems like he wears two masks. You're more like Fritz than you would care to admit. Fritz would never harm me. Varg snarls, but he no longer intimidates me. Fritz this, Fritz that. All you ever talk about is that idiot, even though I've been the one by your side this entire time. Fritz is nothing compared to me. Then why do you feel threatened by him? My words render Varg speechless. I dimly notice the patterns of red dawn scattered across my room. The sun is almost up. I look back to Varg, my eyes seeking Fritz. Varg moves, his eyes fierce as he closes the distance between us. Adieu. Oh. Well, I didn't see that cut. Woo! We don't get to see his face, but Varg presses his lips to mine, effectively stifling the rest of the word. Only a moment to gasp out for breath before Varg kisses me again, more deeply. I raise my hands to push him away for a brief second as my mind hazes over in shock. Varg takes advantage of my confusion and moves forward again, an unreadable expression in his eyes as he leans over me. I try to pull away, but Varg tangles his hand in my hair, tilting my head back to press his lips firmly against mine once more. No, this is not right. I tremble as his free arm sweeps down my back and eventually comes to rest at my waist. Why is he kissing me? He doesn't even like me. Anger clears my mind. I ball my hands into fists and shove at Varg's chest. His eyes are bright and out of focus when I'm able to look into them. His chest betrays his labored breathing. I wipe the back of my hand against my mouth as I glare at Varg. I do not trust myself to speak without screaming at him. Coherence slowly starts to filter back into his gaze. I can see the weirness in his gaze along with guilt. That's because that was Fritz. I suddenly realize that my cheeks are now wet with tears. Why am I crying? Varg takes a step towards me, as though he doesn't and though he doesn't utter a single word, I can see from his body language that he means to apologize. He reaches out a hand as if to touch my face. No! I move back and close my eyes. Adiuva! Spacey? I open my eyes when I hear the familiar voice and watch as Fritz quickly rushes to my side and kneels in front of me. Yeah, okay, he is the same. He looks so much more tan, say, because he has the white hair, but it really is the same. His hands cut my face, and his thumbs brush against my cheeks, wiping away the tears that I can't stop. What did he do, Princess? Fritz! I feel suddenly overwhelmed, like there's too much whirling in my mind. I'm not sure how long we sit there together. It feels short, like a single moment, but it could have been an eternity. I'm sorry, Princess. I shake my head in an attempt to clear my fractured thoughts. Fritz frowns, but the expression clears as he brushes my hair away from my face. His fingertips gently trace my cheek as he speaks. I failed as your knight. I should never have left you alone that night. I could have stopped all of this from happening. All I've done is cause you pain. This past week has been hell. I didn't know if you'd wake up, or if I'd be able to be with you when you did. He looks at me, his expression grim. I wasn't there when you did. Varg was. You finally know about him? Fritz nods as he gives me a pained smile. No apology could ever be enough to excuse what I did to you. I doubted you that night because I thought that what you were saying was impossible. I wondered how I could be cursed without knowing about it. But now, I hate myself for treating you the way I did. I must have put you through so much suffering because I didn't believe you. I know I've never been worthy of you, but now I've betrayed the trust you had in me. He drops his hands and pulls away from me. I don't think I have the right to be called your knight. I reach out and grab his hand without thinking. Don't say that. Fritz looks at me in shock. His wide-eyed gaze only makes me feel embarrassed, and I have to focus to keep from floundering. For a long moment, Fritz manages to smile at me. It is small, but genuine. I don't deserve your kindness. Kindness? Is that what this is? We sit together in silence for some time, enjoying each other's calming presence. The room is quiet as the sun steadily starts to rise. Do you know what's happened during the last week? I'm afraid not. I wasn't myself for most of it. He's fading even faster now, and just when I feel I've truly started to know him. I've already told you about the disappearances of the prince and the princess, but it seems like the queen has gone missing as well. Ophelia is missing? I can only hope that they made it out alive, and that Rod led them back to the Marchen. There they'll be safe. I didn't think I would ever trust anyone there, and I still don't, but Parfait said that the Marchen is a place evil cannot overtake. Uh-oh, here comes the storm, guys. It's dark now, so I can't see the trees swaying, which is scary, but I can hear the rain. And whether or not Varg is truly evil, his mission is to kill them. I can at least be sure Parfait will protect them. King Gennaro is still here, but he's different. He's not himself. And what happened? It's your mother. The day you fainted, the same morning, your mother returned. I can only stare at Fritz in shock, knowing that what happened that night wasn't just a dream. That fucking sucks. Everyone in the castle is acting as if nothing is wrong. It's like the last 4 years haven't happened. But the instant I saw her, I recognized her. And after that, well, I don't remember what came next. My next conscious moment was today, when I saw you. Fritz raises his hand as if to touch my face, but he abruptly pulls it away. He flinches, then doubles over, his face contorting with pain. No, not now. I won't let you. His eyes are cloudy, his gaze turned inward. He's speaking to the other side of himself that I cannot see. I reach out to him and try to call him back. Fritz! He looks up at me and attempts a sad smile. He's trying to make it seem like he's fine. When he speaks, it's through gritted teeth. I'll never let him hurt you. Can you trust me? About that, at least. Yes. Spacey. The shadows dance around him, almost tauntingly at first. Then they simply engulf him and Fritz disappears into darkness. I take a step back. I hate to interrupt. You again. I snarl at him, but Varg merely shrugs. He looks indifferent, as if what transpired between us before never happened. I have things to do today. Varg turns away and walks briskly out of my room without glancing back. I make my way through the hallways of the palace, determined to find Sir Mithros. Over the past few months, I've been all but invisible to the people in the palace. It allowed me to pass undisturbed. I always figured it was because no one remembered who I was with my curse. But today things are different. A maid sweeping the hallway jumps at the sight of me before quickly curtsying. Your Highness! Her eyes are downcast and she doesn't look up at me as I pass her by. As I walk past her, 2 other servants heading in my direction also move to the side of the hallway. Your Highness! Your Highness! You remember who I am now? But how? Has my curse somehow been broken? I spend the entire morning searching for Sir Mithros, but he's nowhere to be found. The only room I have yet to search is the throne room. I push open the doors and walk inside. There I'm met with an unexpected sight. The king sits on his throne, his posture regal, but his eyes downcast. Your Majesty? He does not look up when I enter, but I can see that his eyes are stony, unmoving. I approach him cautiously, and upon closer look, I notice how his eyes look so empty. It's almost as if he can't see me. I inhale and something catches in my throat. My heart begins to beat rapidly. What have they done to you? My princess. I whirl around and see Sir Mithros approaching me with a smile. Where did he come from? Could have sworn there was no one else here when I entered. Sir Mithros, I was just on my way to see you. Varg just told me you had awakened. What is wrong with the king? Physically, there's nothing wrong with him at all. Anger begins to burn within me. You swore you wouldn't harm him. Is he not alive, my princess? Take a good look at him. The king is completely unharmed. The change in Sir Mithros' expression is subtle, but I can feel the malice in his gaze. I should add that it was difficult to keep this promise, princess. My queen will be having words with you about this. Mother, where is she? She's left the palace for the time being. You've been unconscious for a week. My queen could not spend every moment fretting by your bedside. She doesn't give a shit at all. She probably didn't. Didn't Varg say he was the only one to stay by my side? I shake the thought from my mind. When will I be seeing her? At dinner, I assume. Now, if that's all... Wait. Sir Mithros pauses abruptly to look at me. The servants I met in the hallway seem to remember me. How? You really cannot guess? He sighs as he runs a hand through his hair. When you turned 18 and became the Tenebrarum bearer, the curse that the Lesser Witch cast on you broke. What? Moments before your mother woke, you were the strongest witch in all of Angeal. A lesser witch's spell could not have any effect over you. Congratulations, princess. You're no longer a victim of the curse. Your life is back to the way it was before. Now, is there anything else you'd like to ask me? Yes, there is. About Fritz. How do I break his curse? Much to my astonishment, Sir Mithros begins to laugh. The sound is cruel and so sharp and deadly it cuts through whatever hope had been forming in my heart. You wish to break his curse? Oh, princess, you should have told me earlier you cared so much about the boy. Perhaps then I would have tailored his curse to your requirements. Poor, upstanding, chivalrous Fritz. In many ways he was too much of a knight for his father's liking. Sir Mithros leans closer to me, so close I can see the crazed gleam in his eyes. Would you like to know why I cursed him, princess? I remained rooted in place, but not flinching away from Mithros is harder than I would have thought. Sir Alcester approached his son for help, expecting him to help kill the king and take over the throne, but Fritz refused. Sir Alcester needed an obedient servant, and Fritz deserved to be punished for stepping out of line. No. And so I removed those memories of Alcester telling Fritz of his devious plan, and gave him the curse. Fritz has the Little Red Riding Hood curse. There is, after all, no better servant than the big bad wolf. He has all the power and drive of a predator, but is still so obedient. Wolves are closely related to dogs, after all. And better yet, the big bad wolf will always stay close to the lady he desires to devour. I can feel disgust seething in my stomach. I've created the perfect servant for Sir Alcester. In short, Sir Mithras suddenly reaches out a hand to grab my face by the chin. He forces my head up at a painful angle. There's no breaking his curse, princess. Not unless Fritz is somehow able to mentally overpower Varg. And we all know how formidable Varg is. Sir Mithros releases me. Now put the idea of your pretty little head. Don't you already have everything you've ever wanted? He smiles wryly before turning and walking out of the throne room, leaving me alone and trembling. Not really, your husk of a father is over there. To break the curse, Fritz has to overthrow Varg in his own mind? A sudden cold descends upon me. I wrap my arms around myself and shudder. I turn to look at the king, but he's not moved since my encounter with Sir Mithros. Your Majesty, did I do this to you? Mother, if she were here, she could make sense of it for me. Your mother's an evil wench. Mother, where are you? I stare at my now trembling hands. This is not what I wanted at all. Princess, we cannot... I am the crown princess! Which is why we can't allow you to leave on your own, Your Highness. It is strange to think just a few months ago these same men did everything they could to keep me out of the palace. Your Highness, you'll need an escort if you want to leave. I can take care of myself. Back to being a nuisance, I see. Sir! They know who he is. I watch in stunned silence as both soldiers salute to Varg. Varg turns to smirk at me. Well, what's going on here? The princess wishes to leave the palace to visit the town. Does she now? I can feel Varg's eyes on me, but I refuse to look at him. Fine. I'll accompany her. But the queen said... The words die in the man's throat as Varg turns to glower at him. His eyes flash with impatience, and it's enough to coax the soldier into silence. Open the gates. Yes, sir. The gates swing open. I rush out, thinking that maybe if I move fast enough, I can lose Varg. So, what are we here for? Though I tried my hardest to shake him, Varg is still irritatingly close. It's impossible to leave him. Princess? Varg leans out and wraps his fingers around my elbow, pulling me to stop in the shadows of an alleyway. My irritation is immediate, and I look up to glare at him. What are we doing in town? As much as I don't want to agree with those idiot knights, you really shouldn't be wandering the streets. My next words are cold and sharp. Why not? Before, that was what everyone insisted I do. And now the only thing everyone wants is for me to stay indoors. Varg is silent for a few moments before finally letting out an exasperated sigh. Angela's not what it was, Princess. What are you talking about? Varg places his hand on my shoulders and turns me so that I'm looking out onto the streets. I'm not overly familiar with the kingdom, but even I can tell something is off. The shops that had once had colorful display windows are now empty. Their displays are dull or non-existent. The liveliness of the market stalls is all but gone. My gaze is drawn to the bakery shop that Fritz had taken me all those months ago. Its dim windows tell me that it's closed. There's so many different sweets here. Buy whatever you like. Are you certain? Absolutely. I know nothing makes you happier than a good pastry. How do you know that? Well, it's tonight's job to know these sort of things. Just how much do you know about me? Nothing that anyone else wouldn't know. What's my favorite color? Blue. My favorite flower? Lilies. Blue? Lilies? I love you! I told you that these croissants were famous, right? Those are my favorite. I'll get a croissant then. Not a custard Danish? I thought you liked those best. A croissant, of course. Right away. An all too familiar ache beats within my chest. Has it been that long since that day? Everything was so vibrant and full of energy back then. This place was so lively, and there was music that filled the streets and performances everywhere. But now, so much has changed. It's so silent. The streets are so empty, and the eyes of the people, their eyes are glazed and unseeing, just like the king's. I step forward to get a better look without realizing. I'm only dimly aware of Varg's hands, which have not moved from my shoulders. What happened? The Queen happened. The people. She can take control and can demand obedience, but she can't force love or loyalty. The people of Angeal are being crushed, Princess, and they know who's responsible for it. Varg's voice is hushed, but he still draws stares. I flinch back at the expressions on the people's faces as they look at us. There's fear in their eyes. I instinctively retreat until I fall back into Varg. His hands tighten on my shoulders. They know that you're her daughter. These are the looks they've always given me. This is why they've feared me. Abruptly, Varg draws his cape around me, enclosing me in darkness. When light finally filters back into my consciousness, I'm facing a completely different street. He's fucking magical. What did you do? Smoke and mirrors. Things might have gotten out of hand back there, so I got us out. He suddenly releases me and nudges me forward. Can we return to the palace now? I grit my teeth. I still want to see the town. It's impossible to think that the entire place is so changed. How is that possible? Sir Mithra said Mother was out. I really need to see her. It's almost dinner time, Princess. Your family will be expecting you. What, like the king who's just going to sit there and drool and, like, just basically be a husk? Mother will be expecting me. I should see her at dinner, right? Thinking about everything that's transpired exhausts me. I rub my eyes and sigh. Fine, let us return. When I enter the dining hall, a familiar figure stands by one of the windows. I've not seen her for 4 years, but she remains unchanged. Standing before me is the only person whose love I've never doubted. Mother! Oh my god. I'm sorry, is it just me? She, like, reminds me of, like, fucking Karma. Like, wait a minute. The red hair, the green eyes, but so was, like, Karma's not a witch, though, but, like, Karma, you kind of have the coloring of a witch. Oh my god, Mom, were you Karma? That's creepy as fuck. No. My dearest one. I moved toward her immediately like a moth drawn to flame. Soon I have my arms wrapped around her in a hug. I don't care that I'm crying. Mother! I've missed you so much. And I have missed you. I can't believe that Mother is indeed alive. I'm crying so hard tears blur my eyes and it takes effort to speak. I'm so sorry I'm crying, Mother. She's gonna chide you for crying, but I thought you died. Mother presses a soft, cool hand to my cheek. Her touch is more comforting than I remember. And it's thanks to you that I did not. I'm so proud of you, love. I thought her warmth would envelop me longer, but Mother is quick to draw away from me. She doesn't really love you. I look up at her in confusion and flinch when I see that her gaze is cold. But I heard you left the palace today. What have I told you about leaving the palace, Spacey? I just... No excuses. You know my feelings on this. But have you truly become so disrespectful while I was absent? I... Let's not fight. Not tonight. Yes, Mother. Come, sit. I take my usual chair and stare at the now vacant seats in front of me. There's a heaviness in my chest as I remember who sat in them. Those are Ophelia, Rod, and Emmeline's places. And the king. I turn to look at him and feel my heart falter, then sink. Spacey? The king is sitting in his usual seat, but his expression is as vacant as it was earlier. It's nothing. Mother follows my line of sight and frowns. Mithros told me of your request. I had not anticipated that you would require something from him in exchange for reviving me. But no matter. I had no desire to see Alcester's plans come to fruition. Where is Sir Alcester? My mother beckons quickly with a wave of her hand, and servants begin to place platters of food on the table. Exiled! There's no place in this kingdom for a snake like him. Then why is Varg still here? My mother looks at me with knowing eyes as the servants spoon soup into our bowls. You still need a guard, my dear. It was fortuitous of me to retain him, considering your actions today. I look down, my mind racing. But enough of these inconsequential notions. We must discuss your training. What? You're the crown princess, and you must learn how to be a queen. Eventually, you too shall become the tenebrarum bearer, and I'll show you how to control it. It was impossible for me to think of Mother as a witch. But seeing how she speaks so casually of the tenebrarum, and considering all that's happened this week, I've no choice but to believe it. Why did you not tell me about the tenebrarum? About the witches? Dearest one, you were so young. I wanted to protect you. And it is no matter now, for I am here. I'll teach you through practical demonstrations. I've always found that to be the most effective way. She looks at me sharply. We'll begin by punishing those that cursed you. Fear and shock immediately fled through me. What? Punish Parfait and Delora? They've acted to keep you from me and from your destiny. They must be punished. Don't you wish for revenge on those that have wronged you so? Protest. I do not want revenge. Mother sets down her spoon. Dearest one, need I remind you of how the people of this world will seek to abuse your nature and your position in order to use you? Have you not experienced the selfishness and greed of people firsthand? Were you not cursed by such people? You're right. But Delora and Parfait, they had been kind to me as well. Mother goes back to eating. Regardless, we shall start your lessons tomorrow. For some reasons, my eyes are drawn once more to the king. He's not moved since dinner began. His soup is still untouched. The king is barely conscious. Mother is right here, so close to me, and yet nothing feels right. You will succeed me in all things, my daughter. Mother speaks, and my attention snaps back to her. I expect nothing but your full devotion to this task. I mechanically bring a spoon of soup to my mouth and swallow without tasting. Can I really punish anyone? Oh, dearest one. Mother's voice pulls me from my thoughts. She reaches over and brushes my hair away from my face. Her touch is heartbreakingly familiar. She is right here, but I feel like this is the most distant I've ever been from her. We're never going to be separated again. Oh, that's horrifyingly scary. Uprising. Mm-mm. Spacey, I cannot do this. You're not you're not trying hard enough. But it's almost as if you don't wish to complete your training. Ever since Mother came back, she'd been teaching me to use my magic, but her methods are, well, I can't bring myself to agree with the way she teaches. But this is a little bird, no more. This bird is still alive. You evil witch! Speaking of little bird, why are you so retarded? He's got like a treaty stick, like a seed stick thing in his cage, but he's trying to eat it from the outside. He's so dumb. You're so weird. I love you. You're such a weirdo. It's been trying to escape the dome it's been trapped under this whole time. Your bleeding heart will be the end of us all, Spacey. Do you feel such turmoil every time you have a meal? Do I need to remind you how many animals are killed on a daily basis just for your meals? I would really hope not a lot. Like, Jesus Christ, why do we have to kill multiple cows for, like, one hamburger? I mean, not that we're eating hamburger, but like one steak. We're having a steak. We don't need to kill 14 cows. You kill like one, you got a lot of meat. You know what I mean? Like, one chicken, several meals. Like, one pig, lots of bacon, some ham. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus, turkey. Like, do I eat an entire fucking chicken and then we throw it out like 4 times a day? Like, fuck my life. That's creepy. But this is different. Why can't Mother see that? All you're doing is removing the air in the dome. This is a lesson about control. How else how else are we to tell when you're successful without such a barometer? Mother raises her hand and without any apparent effort manipulates the air in the dome. Now you see how simple it is. I stare at the bird's lifeless body inside the dome. The sight of it brings back old memories. It would slowly probably suffocate without oxygen, I would assume. You'd be like, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. This happened before, and even then I was not able to save the bird's life. I still cannot save anything. And because you hesitated, another bird must be brought in. How many birds will it take, Spacey? Oh God! Spacey, just do it so you don't have to kill all the birds. Oh God! Oh God! Now we're gonna have to kill 2. So horrible because you're like, I don't want to kill it, but then she'll kill it, and she'll bring in another one, and I won't kill, and then before you know it, there's gonna be hundreds of bird corpses. What bird is so dumb? Now he's hanging upside down to eat the seed stick. He's so weird. I need you to focus, dearest heart. We will continue tomorrow, and I expect you to perform as expected. Do you understand? Spacey. I nod my head numbly. Mother opens her arm and beckons me toward her. I reluctantly step towards her so that she can embrace me. There's no more warmth in her embrace. There's nothing. Mother strokes my hair. Before I found the gesture endearing and comforting, but now I feel cold. I do this because I love you, Spacey. You understand, yes? The words I want to say are trapped in my throat. I can't. Mother pulls back, a questioning look in her eyes. Say you love me, darling. Of course I love you. I do love her, but things are different now. I cannot deny who she is or what she can do. Mother sighs heavily before releasing me and turning around. Varg! The door opens and Varg steps inside immediately. He kneels before us. Your Majesty, take my daughter back to her room. As you command. Varg rises and bows before going on to hold open the door for me. Princess? Good night, Mother. I curtsy and follow Varg out of the throne room. Ever since Fritz disappeared the day I woke up, he's not returned. The hope that he would return and that Varg would be destroyed is slowly disappearing. Every morning I wake and find Varg standing outside my door. I become more disheartened. I look at Varg's back as he walks in front of me. How am I supposed to bring Fritz back? Varg is only getting stronger each day. At this rate, Fritz will... Adyuva. You know that will not work on me anymore, Princess. Fritz used to come when I said that word, but I no longer see any signs that he hears me. Worried about your night. Let me tell you something that might lift your spirits then. He's not gone. What? He doesn't think he can afford to lose. He's not giving up control without a fight. Thought you might want to know. Why are you telling me this? You haven't been yourself these past few days. Why do you care? Because he's still Fritz. Oh, look, he's so pretty, even as Varg. I know Varg's kind of a douche and he does mean things, but you know there's those moments, like, I'm just telling you, he's like, because, like, the part of him that it's still Fritz actually, I think, loves her, even though he's like, but he don't think he wants to. He's like, whatever. He's like, ugh, I follow you around like I'm your lapdog and I love you and I don't know why. Varg stops and turns to look at me. He's looking at me the same way Fritz always does, with gentle acceptance. I can almost believe I'm looking at Fritz and not Varg. I've been asking myself the same question. I know these feelings for you aren't my own, and yet, feelings for me, I guess his emotions for you are too strong. It's rubbed off on me, and now I'm stuck caring about you too. Varg's expression changes, a subtle sadness creeping into his eyes, which I love. Oh my god! Because, like, look, Varg's handsome because he's Fritz, right? But, like, he's always been kind of douchey. But, like, there's a little bit of Fritz in him where he's like now, like this, you're like, oh my god, he's so pretty. And it's okay that he's an asshole because you're like, because he's Fritz. In this moment right now, he's Fritz in the Varg body. It's exactly what he is. Fritz is sparkling through. And that's beautiful. Stupid. We both know who you'll choose when the time comes. What? Varg smiles, but it's devoid of any cheer. He turns around and continues walking without waiting for me. Hurry up, Princess. The rest of our walk is silent. The night is deep, dark, and gentle, but I can't find peace or sleep in the all-consuming silence. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to read this part of the next one. I know I was like, I just looked up and I was like, damn it, we shouldn't have read this. So anyway, I'm just going to. But oh my god, that's so sad. This is sad. This is sad because, okay, Varg is an asshole, right? And Fritz is all nice and soft and warm and like squishy, right? But in that moment, doesn't it make you feel for Varg? You're like, fuck, I feel for him now. Because he does. He's those emotions aren't his. They're Fritz. So that love and that little tender look and like all that niceness and the kissing her and everything, that was all Fritz pushing through, taking over, right? Without Varg realizing it and Fritz probably not realizing it. But the weird thing is like he said, oh, well, we'll know who you choose in the end. So it's like, oh my god, there's going to come a point where we're going to have to choose between Fritz and Varg. Oh my god. That's going to be, I mean, you want to sit there and be like, well, obviously we're going to choose Fritz, but it's like, I don't know though. I mean, could we have like a nice combo of the two of them where you have like the like slightly sassiness of Varg, but like the sweet, soft gentleness of Fritz? Like, I don't know. It's the dark and mysteriousness of Varg that like gets to you is really what it is. And then, but when he's like, just in that last CG, that Fritz look on his face, you're like, that's what I need. Ugh. You got the tall, dark, sexy, like, you know, with the mask on and everything, but you're like sweet and gentle like Fritz. I don't know what to do. I mean, honestly, Varg on his own, like when he's not having his Fritz moments, obviously we're gonna choose Fritz. Okay, because here's the thing. It's like when he's not having his Fritz moments, he's kind of a dick. Even though we always love the asshole, because the asshole always ends up to be super nice. And in this case, yes, because the asshole shares a body with the super nice guy. They're the same person. They usually are the same person, but not with a split personality. You know what I mean? They're all grouchy and bitchy, and then they just like actually are a nice squishy marshmallow. And Fritz is just a marshmallow with a crunchy interior. He's like a reverse marshmallow. Wow, it's weird. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.